Hey guys, this is Jamie. So today I want to talk about the fact that everyone is in panic. And I'm sorry if I look tired, it's quite late here and I'm pushing the video a bit later than usual because it's Easter break and somehow I'm suffering. Anyway, I'm just really tired, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I do want to talk about the situation in the US and specifically, I guess, what escalated from the drag ban and the fact that everyone has been talking about how unsafe it is in the US right now for trans people. And obviously, it feels like a heavy contrast because, like, we were sort of like in this finally going to be fully accepted era. We've had trans people play trans people instead of like just being shunned upon, and in the US as well. And obviously, because our world kind of is very sort of American centric, and the internet specifically, it's really difficult to see it from other countries as well. And then, well, I lay at night awake and then I start thinking, like, will it trickle down further into my own rights and etc.? Will it trickle down to Europe? And obviously, there's a situation in the UK which is very not favorable as well, with J.K. Rowling being a TERF and pretty much triggering the sort of domino effect of TERFdom. Um, yeah. So this is a heavy topic to talk about in general, and I do want to say that I really appreciate that a lot of people are speaking out on it. There's also a lot of LGBT other allies speaking out. There's obviously trans people speaking out, but it's still obviously not enough because we need more people to be talking about it, more people to be aware about it, and we also need to be lifting each other up in this difficult time. Right, so in general, like, I usually do an overview and I sort of look back at what I have thought about during the week, but in general, I'd say that I've pretty much been occupied with the way things are going. And it sort of trickles, just like JK, the drag ban. It sort of starts off as saying, oh, like JK saying, I'm protecting like cis woman. And then it ended up escalating into her idealizing Nazi ideology in regards to trans people and fully being transphobic and fully being open about it. So I remember when the JK just started and everyone was saying, oh, she openly hates trans people. And people saying, no, she's just defending cis people, which was obviously a cover up. And the same as with drag bans, because obviously we've seen states start advocating to ban all hormonal therapy for adults as well, and not just minors. And all of a sudden, it's a discussion which is not just about minors not being able to access HRT, but it's about everyone and the entire population not being able to access HRT in a certain state. And the thing is, I don't know what to do about it. Obviously, like I do sort of try to think like, what can you do? What can a person do? And I'd really say, like, if you're an ally, just raise awareness. If you're trans people, hold on. And at the same time, I do want to say that you should be very careful with who you expose yourself to. And I don't mean this in you have to tell everyone you're trans or you have to stay stealth, because I feel like it's a decision that everyone has to make for themselves. But I should really say that everyone should be wary right now. And things in the Anglosphere, or like, UK, US centric, they don't look good. Well, in Europe, I'd say it looks okay in certain parts, it looks okay. It doesn't look okay in others. Like in Bulgaria, they passed a law which says that you can't change your name due to trans-specific reasons, so obviously that's going backwards. On the other hand, Lithuania allowed HRT a few months ago. But at the same time, for instance, I can't change my name, even though technically the law says that I can. I've been going to court a few times and they still haven't allowed it, so the legislation can be in place, but it doesn't mean that trans people are safe. Just like back in the day in Brazil, it was much more dangerous, I think, than it is now. And obviously, I can only speak from my own experience and from the fact that my partner comes from a middle class Brazilian background, so obviously I tend to see his bubble and the acceptance from his family. But I still really want to focus on the fact that we need legislation, we need people to accept, and in general people have been more outspoken in their transphobia. Like there are like threads on Reddit which are like, I defeated homelessness, I'm a trans woman, and people are like, why does it have to do with you being trans? But it does have to do everything with the woman being trans, because trans women experience more homelessness. Trans women find it very difficult to find jobs. Trans women of color find that even further difficult. And to pretend that racism, transphobia doesn't exist is just stupid. A lot of people just wouldn't hire a trans person, specifically with the laws in place. You can get fired, you can just pretty much do a slip up and that's it. And don't forget that even just a person knowing that you're trans and not liking it can find something else, like even look through and then make your life uncomfortable and then end up firing you. So I really feel like people don't understand how prejudiced people are against trans people. And it goes from systematic oppression into smaller things like not smaller things like misgendering, but in general, like we need to teach people on language, we need to teach people on background, we need to teach people on biological things, we need to teach people on everything. And people just don't understand. And in general, it's something that like really bugs me, like, why is it someone else's place, if they're not a medical professional, of course, to say that I am a danger to society or a danger to humankind, children, whatever. And also, obviously, there's been discussion about the shooter in Tennessee who was a trans man, and now and I've seen a lot of threads where people get like relatives who ask them like, oh, does tea make you violent? Does tea make you this? Does tea make you want to shoot up a school? And obviously the answer is no. If you're gonna shoot up a school, you're gonna shoot it up for different reasons, and HRT is not one of them. And in general, this whole debate, like for instance, about people saying that, oh, you should get guns if you want to defend yourself, and it's like, oh, trans people shouldn't have guns. And at the end of the day, it just boils down to people hating trans people just for being trans. And that's what I don't get. Like, what have I done to, I don't know, a random person in the US for them to like just hate me for no good reason? And the same for in the UK, the same for other transphobic places. And it's just absolutely heartbreaking, because sure, like we all judge, we all have like pet peeves or whatever, but to just hate someone because there's something that you don't understand or you don't want to understand or you think will affect that someone else's life will affect your life without them even touching is really weird. Like, people being gay won't affect other people. People being trans won't affect other people. The only thing that can affect it is that trans people will see trans representation and they won't have to suffer. Like, I didn't know that trans men existed factually until I moved out. And it was a very difficult childhood, it was a difficult upbringing for that factor. And I'm not saying that all my childhood was bad, but I'm saying that when it was me and my own head, it was very difficult. Puberty was horrendously difficult. My body was very difficult to comprehend. And I still suffer because obviously I still need follow. And it is specifically, I'm not saying that everyone needs follow, but I personally need follow. And people just don't understand that. And also, like, at least right this week, I didn't see much infighting between the communities, between trans, masc, and binary men, which I usually do a lot. I do see a lot. But in general, I just feel like logging in right now is very difficult, and I understand if people want to just close their computers and walk away because it's very difficult. But at the same time, we need to make progress. We need to understand that our mental health is important, which means turning off the computer, turning off the news and taking time for ourselves. But it's also very important to do everything which is possible in our hands. So in my case, I guess it's raising awareness. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please share it. If you liked it, give it a like, give it a comment, whatever you want. Thank you very much for watching, and I truly hope that everyone stays safe.